It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Dallas, Texas. And it's 7 p.m. in Philadelphia. Hello, everybody. I'm Mad Dog Scipio. This is America's Popcast. What's the buzz tonight? Behind the Veil, when mystery becomes history. And the question, as probably old as time itself, are we alone in the universe? Big Cal Yater is my co-host, my new producer. Welcome to the team, Cal. A question for you, Big Cal. Are we alone in the universe?
Most definitely not.
Explain, young squire.
Well, the universe, if it's really as vast as we are told, then there's no way that we are the only life forms, that we are just centered in this one perfect area of the universe that supports life.
I like that answer. It's a good answer. That's a really good answer. I like that.
Thank you.
Very, very good. Great answer. And you know what? And it's very fitting. And it's as quick and concise and to the point as you can get. And that's probably what most people would agree with. Science, on the other hand, is skeptical. They have to have proof of everything. So let me just tell you, kind of give you an idea of where we're going to go with this tonight. I did a little bit of research and I asked some questions today. And if you don't ask questions, you don't get answers. So
Exactly.
I asked some questions. I got some answers. I think good answers too. In fact. So here you go. Now, are we alone in the universe? The question of whether humanity is alone in the universe remains one of science's most profound and unresolved inquiries. Astronomical discoveries over the past few decades, particularly the identification of billions and billions of galaxies and an immense number of exoplanets, exoplanets. And I did that the last time I did a show like this. I said exoplanets. It's exoplanets, by God.
It's almost like a tongue twister.
Yeah. Many within habitable zones suggest that the conditions for life may be relatively common, more common than most people think, certainly more common than science understands. So it just goes to prove you can have a PhD behind your name and still be a fucking moron. Research fields such as astrobiology, the search for biosignatures, and the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, by which is called SETI, SETI, aim to detect chemical, biological, or technological evidence of life beyond Earth. However, despite these efforts, Big Cal, no confirmed proof, keep that in mind, that word, Cal, because we're going to be talking about that one tonight. No confirmed proof of extraterrestrial life has been found as of yet, leaving that question wide open. Are we alone in the universe? I think one guy who may have the answer to that question is a fellow I'm going to introduce you to right now. His name is Robert Bigelow. Do you know who Robert Bigelow is?
I have never heard of him.
Robert Bigelow is a multi-billionaire who, as a child, saw something he could not explain. And coming from a working class family, his father tried to explain as best he could what this thing was that little young Robert Bigelow saw. And that did not satisfy him. And as he got older and grew up and became extremely wealthy and very successful, Robert Bigelow did something remarkable, Big Cal. You're going to love this, brother. He started his own aerospace company. But I want you to look at the logo.
I see E.T. in the middle.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's a real company. It's Bigelow Aerospace is worth somewhere in the neighborhood of 700 trillion. That's not a mistake. $700 trillion. That's just to give you an idea. It's about what the United States is in debt right now.
I thought we were up to like 16 trillion.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. Actually, there's a little more. That's a lot more than that, quite frankly, Cal. But we're looking at the logo for Bigelow Aerospace. Here is what Robert Bigelow said. When interviewed, Robert Bigelow, 73, CEO of Bigelow Aerospace, who has been working with NASA to create a new expendable spacecraft, told reporter Laura Logan on 60 Minutes that he knew, not that he suspected, that he knew aliens are here and that they are real. And Robert Bigelow, as you can see on that logo, says join the adventure. He's actively recruiting people right now to work for Bigelow Aerospace. Every kind of person from every walk of life. Interesting stuff that a guy, as wealthy as Robert Bigelow would take pretty much anybody from any walk of life. But there's a crazy kind of logic in that. Everybody who comes to the table has a different mindset, a different way of thinking, and a different skill or talent that they bring to the table. So it makes perfect sense for me that when I'm done the show tonight, I think I'm going to go online and fill out an application for Bigelow Aerospace. Maybe they need a radio announcer there. Right? What do you think about that, Big Cal?
Well, I'm pretty sure they're not really wanting to put too much out there.
Well, and that's the other side of the coin. How much is Mr. Bigelow saying? How much is he tipping his hat? And is he just a crazy billionaire, Cal? Or is he a guy who knows something that we don't?
To have the kind of money that you have described to me, you have to be crazy.
Yeah.
He's
crazy like a fox, brother. Crazy like a fox.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that kind of money. It would really make me honestly, I feel like it would make somebody feel more reclusive or just you're not a normal person after a certain point.
You know what? I want to do something for you right now, live in real time. Robert Bigelow, net worth. Okay. Listen to this one. Robert Bigelow's personal worth is estimated at $7.9 billion. $7.9 billion. Okay? That's a lot of fucking money, Cal. That's a lot of scratch, brother.
I mean, at the point with the money that his company makes, he might as well buy the United States.
Yeah, for real, right? So buy the country. That's 7.9 billion with a B, not with an M. Look, 600 million, 700 million is a lot of money. 7.9 billion. Let's compare apples and oranges for a minute. Okay. Elon Musk is worth, listen to this one, real number. Elon Musk is worth between 500 billion and 650 billion dollars. His personal worth. That's not what X is worth. That's not what X Aerospace is worth. That's not any of that. That's him, his personal worth. Elon Musk could give every man, woman, and child on planet Earth $1 billion, and it would not even scratch the tip of his bank account. Think about that.
Where's my check?
I'm waiting for it. I have to sign off on it to get it to you. Because you guys fill out a 1099.
Oh, man.
Nah. All right. So this is Robert Bigelow. Don't think about this guy. He's 73 years old. Okay. He's got better things to do with his money, but he saw something as a kid. He saw a UFO. Nobody could give him the answer he wanted. So as he got older and he started becoming successful, he started seeking out these answers to the point where it became such an obsession with him that he started his own company, his own aerospace. Now he works with NASA. Comes to him. All right, think about that. NASA comes to him. All right. That's what the kind of guy we're talking about. That's where his brain is at. Right. This is a guy, Cal, that crazy as you're going to think this is, and this is real stuff because you're going to see something. He developed the idea many years ago of a reusable, inflatable space house where astronauts can live and work, kind of like a portable space station that you could take back and forth to space with you. I'm going to show it to you. Right there you go. Look at that thing.
And it just sticks out the space station, and it's how?
Why don't you ask him and then get back to us with an answer? Yeah, I don't know, but this is the kind of mind that this guy has. He's freaking brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant to the point where, like, who would even come up with this kind of stuff? You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like,
does it detach from the space station, or is
it? And it comes, and yes, look, I'll show you. They are detachable, and you see it's made out of like a cloth type of material. It's collapsible. It's reinflatable. It's completely and utterly portable. What you do from the inside of the capsule, you close the hatch, you detach it, and it flattens out, and you take it home with you. And then when you come back to space, you open it up again. It's crazy.
It's like bringing your own bedroom with you.
Pretty much. Wait a minute. I'm going to tell you what Robert Bigelow did. He actually, and this is for real, you could go online, Cal, and check this out. Robert Bigelow was building the world's first, can't make this up, folks, the world's first space hotel made out of that material. Completely breathable in space. Okay? You want to talk about crazy like a fox, like I told you, brother? This guy's crazy like a fox. But he still hasn't, he's spending all this money. He believes, he says, I know aliens are real. I know they're here. But he's not, what he didn't do. And I want to talk to you about this. Think about what he's saying. I know that they're real and I know that they're here. What is he not saying?
What is he not saying? He's only giving us little tidbits.
Yeah, but what's he not saying though? I'm waiting for that little gem to come out of you. Because I know it's right there. I could see it on your face.
I can't really put it into words. So what's he not showing us is, I mean, oh God, proof.
Go ahead. You're right there. You're right there. Oh God, he's right there.
Proof.
Exactly. What he's not saying is whether he has seen them, communicated with them, spoke to them in any whatever kind of language. He said, I know they're here. I know they're real. What he didn't say is that I've been in contact with them. The point of contact. Remember the movie years ago with Jodie Foster called Contact?
I saw it when I was like I had to be like 7 years old.
So you're making me feel really old. I love that movie.
I'm turning 37 in March.
I got shoes older than you. Jesus. Okay, so here's the thing. What are some of the key signs and arguments within the viewpoint that people who believe in aliens and spacecraft like that, and communication with extraterrestrials? What are the things that they're looking for? Here's, I think, some of the things, like you said, and here's Cal's viewpoint: the sheer size of the universe and countless number of stars and planets suggest that it would be statistically impossible for life not to be among the other planets, and not only on Earth. Believers often cite the discovery of numerous potentially habitable exoplanets as evidence that conditions necessary for life are not unique. And we talked about that once before. What do we have? We have breathable air. Okay. Can you breathe in space? Yep, you sure the hell can.
For how long?
Yep. As long as you've got fresh oxygen, or you're in an encapsulated. Look at the guys in the space station.
Well, yeah, of course, if you're in a spacesuit, you've got oxygen.
No, but they're not in spacesuits. They're floating around the space station breathing fresh air. How are they doing that? That air is coming from somewhere, brother.
Are they able to produce oxygen?
They're producing oxygen. Exactly. They have to, because sometimes they're up there for months at a time. Well, think about something. Just think about this. If NASA and Robert Bigelow can create the opportunity for people to breathe, live, and work in space, imagine the technology that ET has. Just imagine the technology ET has. Think about that. I mean, look at this. This is Robert Bigelow's logo. This is his company logo. Bigelow Aerospace joined the adventure. And guess what? You can say what you want, brother, but that's ET on that logo.
Have you ever seen the Apple logo? They'll take
Apple. Oh, yes, I have. Yep, where you take the two. Yep. Take two Apple logos and put them together. Yeah. And that was not an accident. That was absolutely on purpose.
Well, what's terrifying is that if you take that image and you turn it upside down, instead of it being ET, it looks like the devil with really big horns.
And I've heard people say that too, but I've seen it myself. In fact, I think you may be the one that showed me on the show. Is that I can see that, but I can also see other things. Because if you look at it with a preconceived set of eyes, then you'll see what you want to see. But if you just look at, like, the old ink blot test that they used to do with people in, like, sanitariums, they used to, what do you see? The old ink blot, right?
Yes.
All right. So now, You could give 10 ink blots to 10 people. Guess what? They're all going to see 10 different things. And that's why Robert Bigelow is of the mindset, join the adventure. He wants everybody's viewpoint. U.S. billionaire Robert Bigelow, CEO of Bigelow Aerospace, has been working with NASA to create a new and expendable spacecraft. You just saw it. It's not a development anymore. It's in use. It's real. And it's been up to space and back down here and back up and back here many, many times. But here's the thing, though. Do we know? Do we know what he knows? And what does he know? That's what he hasn't said, Cal. He hasn't said what he knows. So you tell me, Big Callum Yater, what the hell does he know?
I mean, what he knows, he's not going to let us know.
Well, put yourself, because you're pretty good this way. You're an actor. You put yourself in characters, right?
Right.
Robert Bigelow's a character in real life. He's a character, okay? Put yourself in the character of Robert Bigelow, in the mindset. Put yourself in his head. What is he not telling us? What does he know?
What does he know?
Other than he's got a bigger bank account than everybody else.
He knows to give just enough information to keep people interested.
Ding, ding, ding.
You know, it's like almost like holding on to some kind of relevance.
That's it. Give that man a prize. Ding, 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 baby. That's it. He's doing this, bro. He's doing this. He's dangling the carrot in front of the horse. What happens if you do that? The horse is going to keep on galloping, won't it?
Right.
Because he thinks he's going to get that carrot.
So with what he has actually given to us, was it all bullshit? Or is he crazy?
Well, I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to answer it in this, because it's funny that you said that, because I am actually looking at the answer to that question. The simplicity of life's building blocks, the discovery of organic molecules, water, amino acids, meteorites, and comets, and across different celestial bodies suggest that basic chemical ingredients for life are common throughout the cosmos. We talked about a moment ago, you and I, Cal, just talked about it. They're creating oxygen in space. How are they doing it? They're using space itself to create oxygen. Why? Because the vacuum of space is an ingredient. There's water on Mars. There's water on the moon. Think about that, folks. There's running water on Mars. They know this. They've seen it. They've actually seen it moving. There's water on Jupiter, and a lot of ammonia, by the way. Good.
Speaking of Mars, have you ever looked at the surface of Mars and looked at it through a negative frame?
Yeah, it's a very strange looking anomaly, because I don't think that Mars, and people have, maybe I'm a little crazy myself, but Mars through the filter, let's not call it that way. Mars through a filter is unlike anything you've seen before, but it's very reminiscent of Earth in a lot of ways.
And you can also see roads that once existed, but
you can see roads, you can see lake beds, you can see rivers. You can actually, if you look at Mars, you can see structure on Mars, geometric structure. That, how did it get there? It looks like somebody built it there. This kind of stuff doesn't just appear randomly. Somebody had to put them there, or something put it there. That's like the moon, our moon. When Apollo 13 went up, right? Back in 1969, which I don't actually think they actually went up. The story, and I'm going to relate the story, quote unquote, the story that Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin told was that the moon vibrated for 3 hours like a bell before the sound went away. That would indicate one of two things, Cal. Number one, what? What do you think?
I mean, sound waves causing ripple effects.
Yep, that's one. What's the other? It's hollow.
The moon.
Either the moon is hollow and it can reverberate like that, or number two, there are sonic waves that we don't know about. Like you said just now. You nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah, but I also believe that the moon landing was possibly filmed at Area 51.
Oh, I know it was filmed at Area 51. I got news for you. I know that factually. And I know that from a very, very reliable source. And I will say this, and that's all I'm allowed to say about it. I lived in Nevada. I lived in Las Vegas. I also lived in Rachel, Nevada, when I was out there. Rachel, Nevada is the epicenter of Area 51. That's where Area 51 is. It's in Rachel, Nevada. Okay, and there are people live out there. It's not just all desert, folks, and it's not just an empty extraterrestrial highway, they call it. It's not just the extraterrestrial. People live there. They work there. They go to school there. Their kids grow up there. There's restaurants and diners and places to eat and work and gyms to go work out at and places to go, movie theaters to go watch a movie. It's a place to live. It's not just in the middle of nowhere. Granted, most of it is in the middle of nowhere. But there's a good portion of Rachel, Nevada that people actually live and work and grow up, and kids go to school, and the bus comes to pick them up and take them to school, take them home. That's for real. That's for this. You can't make this shit, folks. You got the internet. You got the internet. Go look it up. Look it up. I'm telling you. I will tell you. You know, Amelia and I always used to say, don't take our word for it. Do your own research like we do. You know? Crazy stuff. Now, you remember the movie Contact? All right, so we're talking about that for a minute. Here's the other thing with extraterrestrial life. And I hate to get into this subject because it's a rabbit hole. And boy, you and I could go down this rabbit hole big time there, Brother Cal.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Scientific and statistical arguments. And here it comes, Cal. Spiritual and theological arguments. Because you notice somebody's going to throw God into the mix here. Okay? Because it's just the way it is. All right. Now, let me read this to you. And then you and I, Brother Cal, we are going to, you know what? Why don't we do this? Let me read this first. Then we'll do a commercial. Then we'll come back and talk about it, right?
Right.
All right. Believers in extraterrestrial life often point to the sheer vastness of the universe, the ubiquity of organic chemicals, the discovery of yet unknown planets called exoplanets. That 4 times I heard that word tonight. NASA's findings of water, we just talked about it, water on Mars, and the human, here we go, the human spiritual need for connection as signs we aren't alone. And that's one of the reasons. Do you know that there are people? You want to talk about theology? Here you go. Religion? Here you go. There are people who believe that God was an extraterrestrial. And I got news for you. I'm one of those people. Okay? I'm one of those people.
Nothing wrong with that.
When people back in the day, when people looked up to the heavens, they saw things that we today know what they are now. They described angels as people with wings, okay? What were they really seeing? What looks like this flying in the sky? You're right there, Cal.
I mean, they're
What
not
looks like this
angels.
with wings flying. No, what looks like this flying in the sky? It's called an airplane. An airplane, right?
Right.
If you're back in 400 BC and you see this thing in the sky, what are you going to think it is? Oh, it's an angel. You don't know what it is. You got to call it something, don't you?
Angel or demon, something evil.
Wait a minute. They've called some of them demons. You don't believe it? Go read your Bible. The Bible is filled, ladies and gentlemen. The Bible is filled with extraterrestrial phenomenon that were just now to the point. I'm going to prove it. To the point where the Vatican, the Pope has his own astrophysicist. Do you hear what I'm saying? The Pope, ladies and gentlemen, the most powerful man on the planet, not the president of the United States, not the president of Israel. The Pope is the most powerful man on the planet. Why? Because he controls the religious life of almost 8 billion people. Okay? There are 11.5 billion people on planet Earth. 8 billion of them are religiously affiliated in one way or the other. They answer to the Pope. Okay?
That's insane. I never thought about it like that.
Check it out. You think I'm kidding. Here you go. Right off of Google, brother. Here's the other thing. Billions of potentially habitable planets in the galaxy alone suggest life isn't unique to Earth. A point emphasized by people like Robert Bigelow. And discoveries of water and organic molecules on planets like Mars and Saturn. The Drake equation, and we're going to talk about this one, and I'll tell you who Dr. Drake was. He was actually one of the directors of NASA. This concept, though speculative, highlights the high probability of life arising given the immense number of stars and planets. Because what we look at night, you go outside at night and you look in the sky, you see all these stars, right?
Right.
Guess
They're
what?
like light years away from us.
Yeah, but guess what, brother? They're not all stars. Take a look at the stars one night and just look at the stars and you tell me how many of them you see moving. Oh, yeah. That'll grab your bottom balls real quick.
I've actually seen a few, and I kind of thought that, as the Earth makes its way around the sun, the constellations change.
Yeah, the constellations change, but they don't move out of their orbit. Guess what? These quote unquote stars are moving. They're moving, baby. Moving. Here's the other thing. And this gets into spirituality in the Bible, and I'm going to answer this. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. I'll answer this part of it. Spiritual and theological arguments for are we alone in the universe have been made time immemorial. Okay, the grandeur of the cosmos itself is seen as evidence of God's expansive power, making other life forms plausible with a divine creation. Okay. Now, that fits perfectly into the God is an alien phenomenon. Because there are people at the Vatican, somebody there believes it. Why would the Pope need an astrophysicist on staff?
I mean, we're jumping in the quantum theory now.
Big time, brother. Big time. Here you go. I'm gonna walk. You open the door. I'm gonna walk through it. Scriptural interpretations. Some believers, folks. I'm going to say this very clearly so you can hear this. Some believers see biblical passages like prophetic visions or 4 men in a fire as potentially referring to non-human spiritual beings or even extraterrestrial beings, though interpretations may vary and quantum physics may apply. The need to connect is another thing. The deep human longing for something beyond ourselves is seen as a spiritual yearning that the universe may be filled with other beings that could satisfy us and our need to know. What did we say about Robert Bigelow? What's the one thing he's not saying?
The proof.
The proof, the need to know. All right. We are going to take that. And just for a moment, folks, we'll be right back after this.
Do you have sweaty balls or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and cleans your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code Wrestling Future for a generous 20% discount. That's enter Wrestling Future for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com. And Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com. And the Lawnmower 3.0, your balls will thank you. And so will we.
And we are back on WWTF, WTBR 88.7 on the broadband radio system, live around the world. I am Mad Dog DeCipio. He's Big Cal Yater. This is What's the Buzz tonight. Behind the Veil, when mystery becomes history. And we are talking about that age-old question, are we alone in the universe? Cal and I have come to the conclusion that said, there ain't no fucking way we're alone in the universe. There's got to be something else going on here. So, Cal, I read all the stuff. Let's talk about this shit. Because you and I need to have a conversation, young man. In fact, I'm going to bring you up. I'm going to do this. Watch this, folks. I'm going to bring Cal up on the big camera tonight. There you go. So let everybody see your pretty face out there. So, he looks like Johnny Depp when he does that shit. Right?
Sorry.
Is that white hat on with them sunglasses. You never know. All right.
I can't help how I look.
I know, right? So let's talk about this. It's an old question, Cal. It's an old question, are we alone? People want to know, is there, I think, and a lot of people may have other reasons for wanting to believe this. I think it's the human need to feel companionship, to feel a connection to something or someone else. Let's be honest about it. Does anybody want to feel alone? Does
No.
anybody want to be alone? Not only just as individuals like you and me and your girlfriend and my wife and people like that, right? But us as a society, as a species, us as a collective big blue ball called the Earth that's got every vast kind of personality you could think of. Good people, bad people, nice people, horrible people, tall, fat, short, skinny, all kinds of people. As different as we all are, nobody wants to be alone. So tell me, will we still be in the next, in your opinion, Cal, tell me, will we in the next 10, 15 years know any more than we know now? And if the answer is yes, explain why.
Absolutely not. And I will explain.
I would love to hear this one. Because I
So,
will tell you something, brother. You threw me a curveball. Because I thought for sure you were going to go absolutely yes. But Cal threw a Cal Ripken fastball at me, baby, and I wasn't ready to catch that one.
they
So
will.
tell me. That's
So-
no. Look, it's a great answer.
The powers that be will
Yeah.
never allow us, the normal human, the slaves, if you,
Yeah.
we're technically slaves.
No,
Um,
they think so, but go ahead. Yeah.
well, maybe that's the wrong terminology, but they definitely.
No. That's a perfect terminology. Absolutely. Go ahead.
But
with
they
you.
will continue to allow us to speculate. They will never allow us to know where we actually came from,
Mhm.
where we originally, our history is written by the victors of war. It doesn't matter if they're good or if they're bad. We're never going to get the truth.
I will tell you what I believe, and it's not far off from where you are. Here's the difference. Here is the difference. I will make the same argument you just did. I will make the same argument you just did with a different conclusion. And here's how I'm going to do it. I think you're absolutely right. They will try to enslave you, try to keep your opinion down, try to quelch your knowledge. They will try to suppress your knowledge. But I think at some point very, very soon, and I mean in the next 10 to 15 years, and that's why I brought up that particular number. I believe in the next 10 to 15 years, this government and the leaders of this world will not have a choice. They will have to acknowledge it. Because when ET comes down, ET is going to do so with a vengeance that you cannot ignore. And I will tell you, I believe that so much, I'm willing to put myself in the mix.
Well, that's not out of the realm of impossibility. There's millions of different possibilities. Mine's just a little more pessimistic. They want to.
No, believe it or not, your viewpoint is not pessimistic. It's the most commonly accepted, to be honest with you. I mean, right here. Here you go. Right here. Think about this. This is the viewpoint of, this is the scientific approach. I saved this for last. And I saved this line of questioning and answer for you and I very specifically. Here you go. Here you go. I'm going to use your argument. All right.
All right.
As of 2026, this year, the question, are we alone in the universe, has moved from the realm of philosophical speculation into the rigorous data-driven scientific era. While we have not yet found a smoking gun for extraterrestrial life, recent breakthroughs in space observation, planetary science, and here goes that word again, the emergence of exoplanets, I like that word tonight, folks, provide the strongest evidence to date that habitable environments are common throughout the cosmos. That's not my argument. That's your argument using the data. Okay? The current scientific census, a massive 2025 survey of over 500 astrophysicists and astrobiologists. And I have the links. If you guys want to see them, I'll post them in the description. They believe that complex life is likely, signaling a shift in the scientific community from skepticism toward a when or a if. To a when, not just if. So, I used your argument to make the point the government is making. This is science. This is the government. Okay? When you have science speaking like this, I assure you, young squire, I assure you, the government and the leaders of government are listening, and they are listening like this. Why? Because they want a heads up before we get it. But I got news for you. I think we're going to have the heads up before the government will. Because we believe already. The government needs to see it, feel it, touch it. They need proof. We're going to have the proof before they do. Okay? And I believe that.
Well, let's just hope their intentions are not nefarious.
We're going to find out right now. We are currently tracking biosignatures, chemical signatures in planetary atmosphere that suggest biological activity. Think about that.
Where is this?
And I'll read that again. We're currently tracking biosignatures, chemical signatures in planetary atmospheres that suggest biological activity. K218, this Hyacinian world, a water-covered planet with a hydrogen atmosphere, has shown floating in the clouds of exoplanets, could be detected by our current telescopes. What does that sound like? What other planet do you know of that is allegedly covered by water, and a hydrogen atmosphere?
There's Titan, there's Europa.
How about a little closer to home, Earth?
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah. What does the Bible say? And God covered the world with a firmament. And what is a firmament? It's water. Water above, water below. Water above, water below. Atmospheric microbes, Cal. New research suggests colorful biopigments. I love that word. Colorful biopigments from microbes floating in the clouds of exoplanets could be detected by our eyesight. If you look up and if you look long enough, you can see stuff that you probably wouldn't see any other time. Because how many people walk around looking up, right?
Doesn't seem like a good idea.
It's probably not. No, it's probably not, Cal. Here you go. We talked about our moon. Here you go. Solar system moons. Missions continue to investigate the subsurface oceans of Europa, you just mentioned, which is Jupiter, and Claudius, Saturn, which are considered the most promising local sites for finding extant microbial life. And what were the two planets I mentioned 30 minutes ago? Saturn and Jupiter. Now, let's talk about this one because we got a couple minutes left and we're going to get through this real quick. The silent universe debate. Despite the optimism, the Fermi paradox, the contradiction between the high probability of life and the lack of contact remains a major hurdle because unlike the movie Contact, we have not yet made contact. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, we did. Well, when, Mad Dog? When did that happen? In 1976, scientists at the name of that oh shit, I did it again. Hold on, folks.
Well, seems like Angelo's having some issues.
Here we go. Same
And he's
thing
back.
last night. I mentioned certain things and my camera went black. This is the second night in a row that happened to me. Cal, you're not jinxing me, are you?
Maybe I am.
Okay. It's fine. The silent universe debate. Here you go. The contradiction between the high probability of life and the lack of contact. Remember the movie Contact? We made contact. Oh, but that was just the movie. But wait a minute. Did we make contact? Yes, we did. In 1976, the San Juan telescope in San Juan, Puerto Rico, sent back a signal from space so strong, so long, and so loud, they called it the wow signal. Go look that up, folks. The wow signal. Cal, I want you to do that after the show. The wow signal. What did that tell them? It told them that whenever you send something out into space, at some point, somewhere, sometime, maybe minutes, maybe years later, you're going to get a response. Well, they got a response, all right. And boy, it was loud and it was clear. We are not alone, ladies and gentlemen. The newer perspective posits that the universe is still an incubator. Well, what does an incubator do?
It keeps the conditions favorable for life.
Absolutely. That's it right there. That's it. That is all it does. It keeps the conditions favorable for life. We may be among the first civilizations to reach this level of technology, making us earlier rather than alone. There's my proof, folks. Why did I say earlier that I believe that we will have the knowledge before the government will? Why? Because we're open to receiving it. Remember what government is. They are a body of skeptical people entrusted to enslave you for the greater good of the wealthy, the illuminated ones.
They're the aliens. Look at
Thank you very much. You know who the real aliens are? We are. We are. Why do I say that? I'm going to prove my point. When you see a UFO and you hear talk of little green men, we are the evolution of those little green men. We are the alien. We are looking back on our own evolution. That's what we're doing. Where do you think we get this technology from that's rapidly changing not by the day, folks, but literally by the minute? When I tell you by the minute, technology is changing by the literal minute. By the time this show is done tonight, there may be new advances in cancer, in bioinstrumentation, in robotics. Look at Elon Musk. I swear that guy's an alien. I'm serious. I swear he's an alien. Where do you get a brain like that? And by the way, he's autistic too.
Oh, yeah.
And heavily on the spectrum. And he's the wealthiest man alive. He's got more money. One person has more money than all the Arab sheiks, all the oil in Saudi Arabia. He's got more money than all of that. And he spends it well, folks. Trust me when I tell you. He spends it well. Oh, man. That was a good one tonight, Cal.
Oh, definitely. This was a fun one.
I enjoyed this, man. This was a good one. Next week, I'm going to see what we got next week, Cal. I think I got, what the hell do I don't remember what the hell I had next week. I think we're doing, I know what we're doing. Next, it actually ties into tonight. Next week, we're doing two shows that are very important. Is there a secret space program? That'll be Monday. And Tuesday, are we under mass surveillance? Is your phone, your computer, your laptop, your tablet, are they spying on you? I'll give you the short answer. Yup. Okay.
What about
but next week, Cal and I are going to give you the why. All right. What's that, Cal? Say it again.
How about we talk about the flat Mars theory?
We have to do that next week. We don't have enough time because I got enough time to say, folks, till we see you again, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we will be with you next Monday and Tuesday for another edition of What's the Buzz? America's Popcast and Behind the Veil, when mystery becomes history. For Big Cal Gator, I am Angelo, the Mad Dog DeCipio. Till then, take care. God bless. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.